Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video, and this video's a bit overdue, as well as the next ones, where a very nice guy, sadly a month or two ago, he sent in a request for me to do commentaries on the three of the Rambo sequels, 2, 3, and 4. Sadly, it was one of those things where I was just so busy with everything else, and then on top of that, as embarrassing as this is, I couldn't find them, so I had to search through the stuff. I finally found the Blu-rays because I wanted to watch it on TV. But I'm a big Rambo fan. I love the first 4 Rambo films, and he wanted me to do commentaries on Rambo 2, 3, and 4. So this is for Nick. If you're watching, thank you so much. I sent him an email or two. Never heard back, so I don't know if he's mad about it or not, but I wouldn't blame him. But yeah, I apologize for the wait. But here you go. Rambo First Blood Part 2. I'm going to pause at the beginning, pressing play. And I have to work on the volume. Here we have the TriStar logo. Anytime I see that, I always think of, it's a bad movie, but the very opening, the Richard Pryor film, where it's like, fucking wings, what's going on? Fucking white horse? It's a bad movie. It's the last Richard Pryor, Gene Wilder film, Another You, but that's like the best part of the movie. Sad to say. Got some Mil Yellow for the occasion. But yeah, I grew up watching these films, the first 3. The 4th one I saw in the theater. One of the best experiences I had at the theater. And Rambo 5 I did not like. I know some people say I'm not a Rambo fan because I did not like Rambo 5. I explained in that video why I didn't like Rambo 5. I think Rambo 4 was a much better ending. I think Rambo is a man of few words, including this one. But in Rambo 5 he has fucking monologues more than the narration in Blade Runner, but that's just me. Now, of course, this is years after First Blood. First Blood was a movie that was kind of, I don't want to say cursed, but a lot of people tried to make it and never went through, and then ultimately it landed on Stallone's desk. Because at that time, Stallone, he had success with Rocky, but pretty much any other film other than Rocky didn't do well. Paradise Alley did not do well. Nighthawks, which I liked, but it didn't do well. And by the way, if you're interested, I have reviewed pretty much every Sylvester Stallone film. The only ones I have to re-review one day is Ants and Spy Kids 3. But every other Stallone film I have reviewed. There's even a playlist. And on a quick note, it always back and forth between which is my favorite Stallone film, this or Cobra. And many years it was like Cobra because that was a film no one talks about. But it shifts back and forth. And the way I am right now, and I even did a list of my 100 favorite action films of all time, this won out because I love Cobra, but the way my state of mind is now, Rambo First Blood Part 2 is a fucking classic, and it doesn't get the respect it deserves. Because nowadays, people shit on this movie. People crap on this movie. People think it's cheesy, it's corny, it's stupid. They laugh at it. It's laughable. It's anything to do with laughter. But fuck, I mean, if that's your prerogative, that's your prerogative, but I mean, how we live in a state of age, pretty much George Orwell's 1984. But, that's another topic, another day. Fucking, we don't want to do cop shows anymore because every cop is a bad guy, apparently. It was news to me. There's some bad, but not everyone's bad. But what the fuck do I know? Here's one of the great lines. Do we get to win this time? This time it's up to you. Da-na-na. Love Richard Crenna as Trautman. And I gotta give credit right now to Jerry Goldsmith's music. Jerry Goldsmith's score is fucking exceptional in this movie. I liked his score in the first film. The third one, I don't think it's as good as the score as the first two, but I've warmed up to it. The Rambo with the fire in the background. Also had a great trailer, the teaser, I should say. I'm going all over the place, but let me backtrack and get to each point. Like I said, First Blood, the project was not going well, as in no one would say yes to it. Finally, Stallone did it. A lot of his films were not working, and this had First Blood had a first cut that was a lot longer and was very disliked. But then they did a lot of editing on the film. They took out a lot of dialogue Rambo had. Editor Mark Goldblatt. Mark Goldblatt, same guy who directed Dolph Lundgren's The Punisher. And he helped edit films like this, some Terminator films like T2, Predator 2. Definitely one of Jerry Goldsmith's best scores. May he rest in peace. But then First Blood came out. It was a big hit. Originally they had Rambo die, but then Stallone wanted that changed. And for the better, because you got Rambo 2, 3, and 4, which to me is all you needed. And while First Blood was a success, this became a phenomenon. I mean, this was an absolute phenomenon when it came out. Yep, James Cameron and Sylvester Stallone. I know James Cameron, he's like, well, I wrote all the action, Stallone wrote all the politics. Well, then you both did your job, because I like both in the movie. George P. Cosmatos, a lot of people say that Stallone really directed the film. But I have to think George P. Cosmatos did something. I mean, the guy did Of Unknown Origin, which I really enjoy. Leviathan from 1989, which I really enjoy. Of course, he would work with Stallone again in Cobra the year after. And on the left there, you have Martin Kove, Master Kreese from The Karate Kid. Sweep the leg. And he's got a... You notice on his chest the smiley face pin, but only this time it's a frown. It's a frowny face, the yellow pin on Martin Kove's vest. Richard Crenna would work with George P. Cosmatos again on Leviathan. Rest in peace, Richard Crenna. Loved him as Trautman. I loved how his character developed in the 3 movies. And the first one, he was like an outsider, but he knew John. But he was a little bit of a shifty character. You know, I trained him. I would say he's mine. This one, he's more of a comrade. And then part 3, he's much more of a friend. And they're fighting side by side. So maybe it's not what they did on purpose, but I like that progression. And then he had at least a little bit of a reference in the Napier scene in Rambo 4. 59 confirmed kills, 2 silver stars, 4 bronze, 4 purple hearts, distinguished service cross, medal of honor, and a partridge in a pear tree. Of course, the guy sitting down is Charles Napier, who plays Murdoch. Charles Napier is a character actor. Sadly, we've lost him as well. He was in a flawed but fun 80s B movie called Deep Space. And he's been in a lot of other stuff too. He was in bit parts. He was in a tiny bit in The Cable Guy. He was one of the main bad guys in one of the 3 Ninjas films I saw recently, which those reviews will be coming up soon. I forgot which one. I think it was Knuckle Up. But he was in quite a few films. Very, very, very few he got to be the star of. But this is probably the role he's most famous for, is this one. Photographs? That's the thing. Rambo is a man of few words, because when he talks, you listen. You pay attention. And that's not a bad thing. I mentioned how, yeah, this film became a phenomenon when it came out. Because, like, First Blood was a hit, but this one, it made $300 million worldwide, which was huge in 1985. A lot more than Commando, which is another great 80s action film. I know Arnold Schwarzenegger was a bit pissed at that, because Commando did well, but did not do nearly as well as Rambo 2. And Commando is loved, but at the time, it wasn't the pop culture that Rambo 2 became, because there were Rambo grams. If you don't know what it is, look it up. Because of this, you have the Rambo cartoon, which I could not get into because I know Stallone would never do the voice of the cartoon, but it would have helped if Stallone did the voice of the cartoon character. I'm sorry. It's hard to watch a Rambo cartoon and it's not Rambo talking, you know. And the old Vietnam's dead. Sir, if I'm alive, it's still alive, isn't it? See, I don't understand the laughable thing that people have, that they make fun of a lot of these movies, but I'll get to that maybe later. But yeah, this one, pop culture phenomenon that so many movies ripped this off. I mean, this is one of the action films most ripped off in the 80s. Because you got a lot more films that were either just Rambo type of movies with the marketing and one-man army, and you know there was stuff before that, but this really tipped in a high gear. Always heard the mind was a weapon. Times change for some people. See, that's Rambo, not this fucking monologuing bullshit in Rambo 5, along with all the other crap in that. And I love this film. I think it's a quintessential action movie. And I'll get to that now, why people make fun of it. Because they make fun of a lot of the stuff in the 80s and 90s. It's corny, it's cheesy, it's silly, it's goofy. People watch it and they're laughing. Ha 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 ha. Hey, that one line. Ha 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 ha. And something happened. Ha 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 ha. And oh my god, the screen changed. Ha 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 ha. That's what it seems like with a lot of these fucking people. I'm sorry. Whether it be Red Letter Media, which I didn't agree. They're better at this stuff than me, wholeheartedly. They're smarter than me. They're funnier than me. I can admit that. I've liked a lot of their videos, but I don't like every one of their videos. And when they're watching films like Death Wish 3 or Invasion USA, I'm not going to sit here and say they're Oscar caliber movies. Yeah, they're fun films, but I was never one of those, I'm just not that type of guy. I'm not the guy that sees these movies that way. I see them for how they were intended. I guess I'm one of those weird breeds of folks that take the films too seriously. But a lot of people are just, but I mean, hell, we live in a day and age that because a couple cops are dipshits, hey, let's cancel the TV show Cops. Let's get rid of every cop show what you think of. What's next? You don't get rid of Dirty Harry? You don't get rid of Die Hard, Beverly Hills Cop? You're not going to sell them on Blu-ray anymore? Well, what's next? Are you going to do that? All these fucking knee-jerk reactions and bullshit. Oh, well, we don't like guns, so we're going to make a Looney Tunes cartoon. Of course, we just watched the great Gearing Up scene. Sally doesn't get to use a lot of that stuff because a lot of it gets lost. But still, it was cool to see that type of sequence that would be referenced a lot. It was in a lot of the trailers, teasers, marketing as well. And it would be stolen or homaged. I mean, even Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4 Dream Master, which when I do my intro, my videos, that's where the music is from. When Alice is getting ready in the mirror, that's definitely an homage to a scene like that. But yeah, I mean, we live in the day and age where fucking Looney Tunes, a new cartoon's on HBO Max or whatever, and guns are too violent, so Elmer Fudd and Yosemite Sam can't have guns anymore. And then people complain because it's stupid, and the writer of the show is like, are you guys serious? You're bitching about there's no Elmer Fudd doesn't have a gun? What's the big deal? Because you're pussies. That's the big deal. I'm sorry, your vagina is the size of the Grand fucking Canyon. Sometimes you get tired of so many fucking pussies around. Maybe some of us are tired of every goddamn piece of news and the movies is about a goddamn superhero movie or a goddamn Star Wars movie. That's all it is. Star Wars and fucking superheroes. Once a blue moon, you have something else, like a Sonic or Tenet or something else. But I'm going off tangent. But yeah, the thing about Stallone, and I know a lot of people think I'm not a fan of Stallone because I've ragged on him for quite a few years. Because I don't like his recent stuff. I'm sorry, I'm not going to lie. I mean, I get that a lot from people. Oh, of course he hated it. You're right, I'm a harsh critic, because most people are not harsh critics unless it's something that the majority hates. So it's like, oh, it's okay to say it now. If I liked something, I'm going to admit I liked it. Bad Boys for Life, Sonic, VFW, Guns Akimbo, The Invisible Man. These are just films of this year. Searching for John Cho, Blade Runner 2049, Dread, John Wick films. The list goes on of films I've enjoyed. I will admit it. But I'm not going to fucking lie and say, oh, I liked it. Well, you're going to be the only person. So fucking what? If you're being honest, so what? Yes, I'm going to sit here and generally enjoy Rambo First Blood Part 2. Not call it cheesy or corny. If you want to call it that, fine. It's not my job to tell you what to do. It's not my job to stop you. I'm just going to disagree. Now here we get the first hiccup of the mission, him getting caught. Which is not something you would expect. I will say. You would not expect... Like, I'm trying to picture the first time seeing this. You would not expect him getting hung up on this and then having to lose most of his deer. Kind of interesting to start it off that way. It is not a... I mean, think about it. It's not something they do a lot in that nature. Yeah, kind of interesting. And good stunt work where you see the outside shots. I mean, however they did that, where you see the guy by the side of the plane being dragged. I mean, yeah, he gets rid of the machine gun, but you know what? He'll have the bow and arrows, including C4 tipped, which I miss that weapon. I miss that choice of weapon. I mean, fuck Sly. If you wanted to do another Rambo film, at least bring, as superficial as that sounds, at least bring that shit back, the C4 tipped arrows. People enjoy that. People miss that. Well, I'll speak for myself, but yeah, Richard Crenna, great character actor, did a very nice job in Trautman in the first 3 movies. And like I said, it was nice that in the first one, he's kind of the face of the military who trained him. The second one here, he's the only ally, one of the only comrades, not the only, but because you got Cobra and others, but at least here, the only one. And then the third, like, they're fighting side by side as close friends. And yeah, I thought that was a nice development, whether on purpose or not. Some really good locations. I think they shot in Mexico. I could be wrong on that. I could absolutely be wrong on that. But yeah, I missed the C4 tipped explosive arrows. I wish that would be a thing again. But yeah, no one ever uses that stuff now. I know if I ever had the budget to do a Raphael movie fan film, I would use that. Just come up with some bullshit excuse. There's an arms deal. They find this stuff. Oh, what's this? Fuck it. I mean, when I look at films like this, no, I'm not expecting Oscar caliber writing, directing, but I want to be entertained And I think this does a sincere job of it, like many films of the 80s and 90s. Like, the Rocky sequels and Rambo sequels, at least until 5. Commando, The Running Man, Predator, Tango and Cash, Cobra, Death Wish 3, the Above the Law, Bloodsport, Cyborg, Kickboxer, Lethal Weapon 1 and 2. I'm just talking about 80s films. The Road Warrior, and plenty more. Here we got Cobra, who is his contact. Funny thing, with each movie, his knife gets bigger and bigger. Because in the third one, it looks like a fucking sword. And in the fourth one, he makes a new knife that pretty much a fucking machete, and he cuts the guy's head off. Well, I'm not sure if he uses that to cut it off. He might have just found it. That might be a different one. But, well, no, he uses the one where he guts the guy, so it got bigger with each of the 4 movies. But yeah, even the 90s, I mean, there's plenty of great action films. From Die Hard, well, Die Hard, speaking of 80s, but Die Hard 2, Die Hard with a Vengeance. Lethal Weapon 3, I really enjoy. Drive with Mark Dacascos. Some of the PM Entertainment films, like Riot and Land of the Free. You got The Perfect Weapon. You got True Lies. You got Eraser. You got... I like Last Hatching Hero. Love Cliffhanger. Love Demolition Man. Love Hard Target. Time Cop. But then when a lot of people look down at these movies, it kind of makes it clear why they try to nostalgia sake these films. And in my opinion, they don't hit the mark because they don't see what made these films work. Because they don't respect and like them. They don't view them as films. They view them as stupid, cheesy entertainment, wink, wink, or again, they don't get what made them work. Now here we get to the folks that don't give them the boat ride. And then when they go back, they don't be fucked over. I didn't even notice there's a doggy there. Fucking dog. Just hanging out. For a split second, I was thinking of this guy go say, after he took a cigarette, "Okay, USA. Okay, USA." A lot of people make fun of the hair, like Rambo, like the mullet. Kurt Russell had a Big Trouble in China. Jean-Claude Van Damme had it in Hard Target and Time Cop. I like the mullet haircut. In fact, I'm envious of it. I would love to have a mullet. So, I think it looks cool. Again, I'm envious of that hairstyle. And Stallone's in pretty good shape here. And then in Rambo 3, he's just even more so. So in 3 years, even more. Whether that was all natural, that's up to you. But I was talking about Stallone. I like a lot of his movies. I reviewed pretty much all of his movies. So I'm not, if you think I'm lying, the proof is right on the channel. I can watch the first 6 Rocky films. From Rocky to Rocky Balboa. The 4 Rambo films I love. I love Cobra, Over the Top, Lockup, Tango and Cash, Get Carter, I See You, Demolition Man, Cliffhanger, Daylight. I like the Nighthawks. Copland is great. Let's see, Tango and Cash. Because you had, I want to say 82. I'll just say of the 80s. Like 82 was a great year because he had First Blood and Rocky 3. I know I'm going to forget what the hell he did. I know Rhinestone was around there. That wasn't too good. This was 1985. I want to say Rocky 4 was 85. So this was the biggest year of Stallone's career, really, because those two films were humongously successful. Then 86 he had Cobra, which I enjoy, despite it being edited, because they took shit out, violence and such. This is another scene I enjoy, where he talks about, first off, Expendable. Of course, he would go on to do the Expendables. Also, this was a scene that Gizmo watched in Gremlins 2. The kind of war you don't win. To win a war, you gotta become war. He hasn't said that yet, but again, this is the scene one of the scenes I should say, that Gizmo watches in Gremlins 2, the new batch, and then he becomes Rambo. I thought that was always cool. But no one talks about John Rambo nowadays, or they just laugh at it. And that's why I didn't want Rambo 5, and I never mentioned that, because I don't want Rambo to be a laughingstock. Oh, what, a 70-year-old guy is going to do all this? And Rambo 5 came out in how long ago? Does anyone talk about Rambo Last Blood? No. I wonder fucking why. There's survival war. You gotta become war. This is where he goes, I'm expendable. What mean expendable? Well, 3 movies that got progressively worse as they went on, sadly. The first one I liked, despite some flaws, like the whole hum CGI. The second one, I thought they were too much winking at the camera. Like, do you get it? Expendables 2, we're winking. Chuck Norris joke. They actually said a Chuck Norris joke, because it's Chuck Norris. Do you get it? And then Expendables 3, let's add in all these new people we don't give a fuck about and make it PG-13. And we got Wesley Snipes, but we're not going to let him do anything. That's a good luck charm. But I've mentioned many Stallone films I've enjoyed. But I'm sorry, since I would say 2010, 10 years, I haven't liked a single thing he's done. If you liked him, cool. But I'm sorry, I look at Bullet to the Head. I see a tremendous letdown considering it's Walter Hill, the director of The Warriors and Southern Comfort and 48 Hours. Stallone partnered up with some guy played by Son Kane, who just fucking phoned Google Cop. I'm sorry, I mentioned Expendables 2 and 3, which I don't think are as good as the first one. That's my opinion. Because I thought the first one, tone-wise, was more fitting for here back then. I think someone even said on the production, well, we wanted to change it from the first one, because the first one we tried to take it too seriously. That's what we want! That's an homage to these films. Delta Force, Chuck Norris movies. Anyway. Escape Plan, I'm sorry. A film when you finally get Stallone and Schwarzenegger together. And what do you do with them? Arnold isn't in it until, 20, 30 minutes into it? At least that's what it feels like. They don't get to do much because it's just a prison escape movie. And then you get some lousy action because the director's not handled action. Because the director, he's only done films like, I think The Right, The Exorcism, Anthony Hopkins movie, and maybe 1408, which I enjoyed. But he's not an action director. And that's a huge letdown since you got those two guys in there. I'd rather have them voice a fucking animated Contra movie, for crying out loud. Make a Contra movie animated and just have Stallone and Arnold voice the characters. I would have been more into fucking that than Escape Plan. let alone a Steep Plan 2 or Steep Plan 3, which, do I really need to say anything? There's Steep Plan 2 and Steep Plan 3. Bottom of the barrel BS. Skip Trace, Stallone's barely in it. It's more Matthew Modine's movie, and then Stallone just comes in from time to time doing his Bruce Willis, Steven Seagal direct-to-video drivel. No more orders, Cole. But I like the look of the jungle location. I like... There's a bit of a build-up. It's not wall-to-wall action, but I do think it works. Because when the action does happen, it's satisfying. And does a nice enough setup. Deal with the POWs, and the camp's supposed to be empty, but no, it's not empty. I think the editing is crisp. I mean, the movie's only an hour and 35 minutes long. That's with the credits. It's not a bad looking film. I think it's a good looking flick. Like I said, the Jared Goldsmith score is exceptional. And yeah, I was talking about Stallone. I mean, with the films he's done. And then the Creed films, I'm like, why are these even made? They're just wannabe remakes of Rocky. That's what it is. Creed is a remake of Rocky, mixed in with a little bit of Rocky 5. I mean, you kind of say each Rocky film follows the same formula. You gotta point to that, to be fair. But at least I found enough little differences to make it a noteworthy watch each time. And I'm sorry, the Rocky character is a lot more likable than the son of Creed. And just all these other films that Stallone could have done for the past 10 years. That's what makes me mad too, is that Stallone doesn't have many movies left in him. And nowadays, I'm like, he should just retire. But after Expendables, he could have done Hunter. Oh, he's going to do it. He's been saying that for years and years and years. He could have done Isobar. He could have done, get Isobar back on track. He could have done Hunter. He could have done direct. Just more of directing like Clint Eastwood would do. How about do a movie in the vein of Drive, the Ryan Gosling film? Or hell, do a film in the... Can you imagine the film Mandy with Nick Cage? Imagine if Stallone starred in that. And I love Mandy, but imagine if Stallone starred in that movie. That would have been fucking insane. The showcases. That'd be a hell of a different character Stallone has played. And that's what I mean. But Stallone doesn't want to do that. Sad to say. But just when he tried to do different stuff, I enjoy him. Lock Up, Over the Top. But he doesn't. He doesn't. So, of course, he doesn't want to do it again. The films that some of us actually like are ones he don't. So he thinks doing these other films are the safer bet for, I guess, his bank account. I'm sorry I'm not talking much about the film itself. Part of me is like, the film does speak for itself, but yeah, I'm not going to sit here and explain everything to you as if you're blind. You can see what's going on. And this is the thing, seeing these movies as a kid, these were our comic book movies. And I miss that. There's real people doing these things. Granted, could be over the top, but still, it's I'll take these over any comic book movie, superhero, more Marvel, more DC, more Vertigo, whatever the hell other things there'll be. Something as simple as, throwing a knife connects right to the chest. Or, the arrows, and I think it's coming up with one to get an arrow in the head. Like, these were comic book films, and this is what I miss, and this is what I enjoyed. But nowadays, you don't get that. You just constant barrage of comic book superhero movies. Hell, you go on the movie news, half the time it's either, like you said, superhero or fucking... There we go. We got that. Okay, we got this, and then it'll get to the arrow in the head. But something as simple as that, the up close to the arrow, him releasing it, the way they do with the line, so that arrow goes like that. Obviously, there's a line, so you do it, does like this, so it makes it look as if they get hit. Something as simple as that they don't even do nowadays, let alone squibs. Here we get the arrow in the head. Yeah. Nice. Bullseye. Funny enough, I had a comment the other day because I did not like Rambo 5. And this guy... This is the stupidity of people today that just dumbfounds me, man. The guy calls me an idiot. That's fine. I've been called way worse. But he says, you're an idiot. And what the fuck is a squib? This movie... No, it wasn't even Rambo 5. It was about, like, Rambo 4. Even though I love the film. Now that it was about Rambo 4... I deleted that comment because it was so stupid. It was just, even though I love the film, I guess he was watching all the Rambo film reviews I did. And it's like, well, if you don't like me, why do you watch my stuff? Whatever. But you're an idiot, and what the fuck is a squib? First, he's like, there's no squibs, and what the fuck is a squib? You don't know what a squib is. First off, you're an idiot for that. Second off, you say there's no squibs, but you don't even know what a squib is, so how the fuck would you know there's no squibs? Because I was talking about squibs and how sometimes it's nice to see that, and sometimes it's such when they don't have it. Like, do people nowadays really not know what a squib is? The effect where you put on a person's body, it hits, and then this little almost explosive pellet, so that people simulate as if they got shot. Back in the day when you get shot, you see this. I'm like, you call me an idiot, but you don't know what the fuck a squib is. So the guy must have thought I made that term up. It just dumbfounds me. Sometimes it's stupidity. God damn. But I already mentioned that. We live in a society that's so much stupid shit going on. It makes you go fucking insane for a person of even normal intelligence. But even simple as like shot like that, the scope of having a helicopter going over the actual fucking trees and not a fucking CGI helicopter, CG background, up to the gills of filters upon filters, so that the film actually looks fucking natural. I mean, of course there's going to be lighting, but using the environment for the lighting. Again, it just dumb fucking founds me when they do that stuff. I hear the boatmen have now turned on them. Sold out, little bastard. Don't do that. See, If this was the Rambo 5, he would be given this fucking speech that would go on for 2 minutes. But no, he's a man of action. He's like, okay. Boom, stabs him, gets a shotgun. See, that's a squib. Boom, squibs. Squibs. Boom. That's some shotgun fun. There's a squib. If that little idiot fucking seizes, there's a squib. Which looks better because it looks more real than a CGI blood. Because it's something real happening on set. You cannot get more real than real. We're using a real helicopter and a guy shooting this gun. And there's Stallone with stuff being blasted around. And you see this Stallone's actual fucking face. Well, at least some of the time you see his face. And you see actual physical stuff being blown around, and we got, so that's the thing, we got shotgun fun, and we don't get a rocket launcher. And the editing's very tight. Boom. Actual explosions. And this little idiot fuckwit. Thankfully this knife is gonna come in handy for a little bit of shish kebab fun. Stick you like a pig. Get the fuck off me. Jump for joy. Then Jerry Goldsmith, when the music pops up right here. I miss Jerry Goldsmith so much. I mean, he did Star Trek the Motion Picture. He did Leviathan, worked with George B. Cosmatos again. He did Total Recall. He did Teen Solomon's Mines, which was his version of doing Indiana Jones. Supergirl's music, which was his... He didn't get to do Superman, so here's his version of Supergirl. There's so much good music. Even if you don't like the movies, the music is really good. And a lot of them, man. Air Force One. Star Trek the Motion Picture I mentioned. We don't have a lot of those types of musical scores nowadays. Once a blue moon, but now a lot. Think of all these superhero movies that have come out, comic book movies. How many of those music can you really hum at the drop of a hat? Whether it be Black Panther, Captain Marvel, Avengers Endgame, fucking Batman v Superman. What's the music in Batman v Superman? What's the music in Justice League? I don't fucking know. What's the musical score in Spider-Man Far From Home? I don't fucking know. Stallone trying to get the safety with his POW. And you know, like Stallone and this guy actually among these places, they put explosions and... Oh, let's cut to an actual helicopter. And you see at these shots, it's actually Stallone doing it. And fun, when you get to Rambo 3, which I love. I think Rambo 3 is very underrated. And that was 1988. But Stallone is under fucking tanks being dragged. He's riding a horse with a Molotov cocktail in one hand, going full speed, while a helicopter is right behind him, and explosions. Now you think about Christopher Reeve, who played Superman, he was just doing a little gallop, he fell, and he was paralyzed until the day he died. Here's Stallone riding full force on a horse with a Molotov cocktail and all this other shit going on, explosions. Pretty fucking crazy. But people give Rambo 3 shit, but If Rambo 3 was released by Marvel, it would get the pass. Oh, that's not fair. I'm sorry, I'm calling it like I see it. I've liked a lot of Marvel films, but I don't think every single one of them is fucking A plus material. And I've liked a lot of them. Whether it be Iron Man, whether it be Doctor Strange, Captain America movies. But no, I did not like the last couple Avengers films. I did not like Black Panther or Captain Marvel. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, I liked, but I thought it was a step down from the first one. Ant-Man the Wasp, I didn't hate, but I thought it was a step down from the first one. I found it, at times, kind of forgettable, especially its villain, which wasn't really a villain by the end. And then people go, well, you like these movies, so you have bad taste. Well, it's my fucking taste. Sadly, I can see this happening. People getting fucked over like this. Because they want to hide and they want to save their asses political-wise. And it makes you feel for John Rambo even more. Makes him even more of an underdog. I mean, how do you make a guy who's a successful soldier that can kick ass and take names an underdog? That's a way to do it. You're being left behind by his own... Richard Crenna tried to help, but the other people, his own, in a way, his own men. And then fucked over like this. If they had just put him on the helicopter with the prisoner of war, things would have been fine, and Cobra would be alive, and... You know, no, Murdoch is a fucking dipshit. But yeah, after this, I mean, being such a huge success, of course, the director George P. Cosmatos and Stallone would work together again in 1986 for Cobra, which I highly enjoy. Again, sadly, what happened with that, it got edited when it was coming out because they wanted more showings to, I guess, compete with Top Gun and other movies, and some of the violence was cut out. That was a stupid decision. Because now that uncut version will never see the light of day. Never. You don't know? Yes, I do. I'm psychic. If it does, I will dance the fucking Macarena on camera. A full hour-long Macarena video. Repeated. If the uncut version of Cobra is ever released. You can quote me on that. And before I get to that, I mean, this whole thing with this is stuff that did happen. You know, there were POWs out there where people get left behind because they don't want to be this political embarrassment for them. You know, men who fought for the country and did what they're told to do, that they were forced to do because of the draft, and then they're just left behind because, well, it's a messy business and blah, 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 blah. God, imagine there was internet and Twitter back then. Fuck. But yeah. Yeah, that was a thing that happened a lot. You know, the government, don't trust the government. Which you just say the same thing for today. Don't trust the government. But yeah, Cobra, the release of that. And when it came out, it did well its opening weekend. It made some money, but it was considered a very big disappointment box office wise. Because it made about $49 million in the US. And yeah, I love Cobra. It's one of my favorites of all time. One of my favorite Stallone films. I love that it's a almost a horror movie version of Dirty Harry in a weird way, because it does have a little bit of horror slasher vibe, which I love. And I love how cool the Cobra character is, and the soundtrack, and how intimidating Bryan Thompson's villain is. I just love the movie. Cut pizza with scissors. But 49 million is nothing when the previous year this film came out. It made 150 million in the U.S. So, and then 300 million worldwide. So you think this film, 150 million in the U.S. Then the next film, 49 million. So yeah, the studio, I'm sure, was very pissed off and disappointed in that. Because I guarantee there would have been Cobra sequels. In fact, there were rumors that there was going to be a Cobra sequel when Cobra came out. Yeah, we'll like to continue the character, blah, 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 and then that never happened. And yeah, I like that even though it's Rambo, he is an underdog character. He gets beaten up, he's in this pile of mud and shit, and he's got these fucking leeches. Our villain here, Steven Berkoff, is cutting off him. And funny enough, Steven Berkoff, the year before, he was in Beverly Hills Cop. Because Beverly Hills Cop, that originally was going to be Sylvester Stallone, so they cast all these people like Judge Reinhold and Lisa Albacher, who's supposed to be the love interest of Stallone. And Steven Berkoff is the villain. And then Stallone's like, well, I want to make more of an action film. Let me rewrite it. They're like, no, we want to make more of a comedy. Stallone left. But now that film will be made today because Cops are canceled. So I guess we're not going to see more Cops movies. Because we live in the world of 1984, George Orwell. Don't know that? Read up on George Orwell, 1984. Look it up. Look up the book. Look up the story. Hell, look up the Wikipedia if you need to. You read it, it's like, yeah, that's a lot of today. Sad to say. And people want to hide and think it's sunshine and rainbows and shit, and it's not. But yeah, although I love Cobra, it probably did well on videotape, but it wasn't a humongous box office success like this film. And then after 86, you had films in 87, including Over the Top, which Stallone got a big paycheck from Cannon Films and Golden Globus. Because Golden Globus and Cannon Films, they thought they were going to be a big studio at the time. Cannon Films, I enjoy Cannon Films. I enjoy a lot of their movies. American Ninja 1 and 2, Delta Force, among others. And they thought they were going to be a bigger studio, so they invested money into a Superman movie, a He-Man movie. So you have Masters of the Universe and Superman 4, The Quest for Peace. They paid a shitload of money to Stallone to do Over the Top, and none of these films did well. I love Over the Top. I reviewed Over the Top on the channel. I believe I did a commentary for it. See, that's all Rambo has to say. Fuck you. But again, if it was Rambo 5, he'd be giving some fucking monologue about, I'm going to take your heart, I'm going to rip your heart, and then I'm going to do something with your heart, I'm going to shove it up your heart, up your ass, and I'm going to take the heart, I'm going to do the heart, and I'm going to do the heart, and then, while fucking music is playing. Some song from the Doors. Anyway. But yeah, I love Over the Top, but it did not do well. People laughed at it. People thought it was cheesy. People thought it was corny. People thought it was goofy. And people looked down on it and to this day made fun of it. Although I think I enjoy the film. I think it's a good father and son story. I really do. And this right here like reminds me of your hero, he's being tortured, but he's going to get out of it sooner or later. Not in this scene, but he will later on. again, you make the hero, what's the word I'm looking for? I said it before. You hurt the hero, you punish the hero so that his glory would be that much more satisfying. You make him the underdog. So then he'll, to me, makes it more likable. And I see like a lot of Stallone's movies at this time was about that. Rocky, underdog. Okay, look at his other films. Over the top. Underdog. He's a guy who's not, his son doesn't want anything to do with him. He knows he's made mistakes. He wants to try to fix things. Lock Up, another film I enjoy. He did this thing where he's help. You understand why he did it, but he was in jail, and then they take him and they beat him and they put him in this more hardcore jail because his warden wants revenge. Even Copland, he's a guy who can't hear one ear, and the girl doesn't want anything to do with him, and even by the end, he doesn't get the girl. A lot of underdog characters. And even in Daylight, something happened long ago, these people died, and so he left and became a taxi driver, and now people are giving him shit constantly and putting him down, but he's just trying to do the best he can in the situation. Yeah, underdog character in my opinion. But and that's one of the appeals I have with Stallone, especially around that time. Cliffhanger, same thing. The beginning, he tries to do his best, the girl dies, he's conflicted, he's lost his faith in himself. Did he do that every single time? No, which he didn't need. He didn't need to do it every single time. So I can watch films like Cobra and Nibblishman and enjoy on that level. But he was willing to do that role. I like the scars on his chest. Especially right here. It's like 3 like big scars. Yeah. Nothing too big, nothing too over the top. Just a simple. And it shows that Rambo does care for people. He's gonna, even though he says don't tell him anything, so he's got the free get out of jail free card with that. But Stallone, Rambo is a decent character. He's not gonna let this happen. But yeah, I was saying how what was I going to say? Oh yeah, Cobra came out, and then Over the Top, they didn't do well, and then you had, I might be missing something else, but 88, you had Rambo 3, and that was when he was with Brigitte Nielsen. And that didn't end well. And he pretty much wanted to escape into work. So then he did Rambo 3, which a lot of people hated, but I fucking love. I think Rambo 3 is one of the most underrated sequels. I really do. And with Rambo 3, I love the action scenes are so well done in my opinion, and the budget was on the screen. And I like that Rambo had a little bit of a humor, levity, but I don't think it was over the top. I don't think he was too much. So people complain, oh, Rambo needs a bit more character. So they gave him a little bit more character, and then people shit on it. So you can't ever fucking win, I guess. But I thought it worked well, and a lot of great physicality in that, from the stick fight at the beginning to the ending where it's a full-blown fucking G.I. Joe warfare, man. full-blown fucking war with real tanks, real helicopters. Fuck. A tank and a helicopter getting a fucking playing chicken with each other. I know that the original director of that was the guy who did Highlander, Russell Mulcahy. Then him and Stallone had disagreements, so then they got Peter McDonald, I believe his name. Oh, here we go. I gotta... But yeah, and then Rambo 3 came out, didn't do well. Because a lot of people didn't like it, and then that's when we were good with the Russians now, and... But here we go. Murdoch. I'm coming to get you. Just the way that all worked. The editing with him squeezing that to cutting to Murdoch's face like, oh shit. And then the music sting. And just that, duh, 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 and frying his ass. Like, that's what you did. You fried my ass on this fucking bed. Now it's your turn. I just snaps like, bum, 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 bum. Got the gun. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. And again, Jared Goldsmith's music just was great to hear in this. And you watch this again, this fucking flies. I mean, I'm already, what? It's crazy. I am already an hour into this movie. And yeah, I think there's going to be credits. Credits are usually 3, 4, 5 minutes, at least at this time. Nowadays, credits would be like 10, 15 minutes, but... And that's the thing, like, you have to put your hand on barbed wire, and you have to... I'm not sure, well, I'm not sure if that was 100% barbed wire, but... That's how quick this film goes. I'm already an hour in. And then pretty much after this one event coming up, it's wall-to-wall action. Because, yeah, I think you have action here, then what happens with Cobra. Spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't seen Rambo 2. But think about it, after this, you get Stallone killing those guys, fuck up a guy with the C4 arrow, hunting people, which is a very fun scene, fucking the guy up in the helicopter, blowing up the entire fucking village, saving the POWs, a helicopter firefight between him and the bad guy. I mean, that's what it just fucking... That's the thing. You better give a payoff. And I know that's why some people like Rambo Last Blood. But to me, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry, guys. The first hour and change of that movie is way too fucking boring. Among many other issues I have with it. As they're steep in the spotlight of the helicopter. God, it's just an iconic score to me. Da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da. Like, they never even used this score for, I mean, for like Rambo 5, for example. I mean, at least... that's just nitpicking, but still. I like this coming up because now you just see how nervous Murdoch is after that. I mean, he's always been sweating the whole time, but you just get this sense he's just a lot more fucking nervous now. But yeah, I mean, Rambo 3, it was the time when Gorbachev met with the president of the US of A, and the Cold War was over, so it was a weird time for Rambo 3 to come out. You know, the Russians are evil. And but that's like, hell, they still made World War II. I mean, in a way that should not matter, if that makes sense. It should not matter. If we're going to have World War II movies and all these other movies that, well, that's not happening now, I don't think it should be that big of a deal and a difference. But I don't know, people just, for some reason, didn't care about Rambo 3. It just never understood it. And then that didn't do well, and then 89, you had films like Lock Up and Tango and Cash, and again, both films I really enjoy. Lock Up flopped badly. Tango and Cash had production problems, director being replaced, and stuff deleted from that. And but I still love Tango and Cash. But that didn't do well, and then that's the thing. I mean, I love Stallone. I liked him more than Arnold, but even I can agree Arnold was more of the box office team because he had a much better route of success when it came to his films making money. We got Cobra dead, and Stallone's pissed. Fuck you, fuck all ya. Take these bullets up your ass. Get the fuck off my... I always thought she did a nice job as Cobra. It wasn't over the top. It wasn't irritating. It wasn't annoying. I liked her. I liked the character. I felt sorry that she died. No, he'll forget you because he doesn't mention anything about you in Rambo 4 or Rambo 5. Doesn't even have that. Actually, I think he gave that to in Rambo 3, I think. Trying to remember that little necklace thing. But yeah, in what was it? I was talking about. I like Stallone more than Schwarzenegger, but yeah, Schwarzenegger was the bigger box office draw because Conan the Barbarian was a hit. Terminator was a hit. Commando was a hit. Predator was a hit. Kindergarten Cop was a hit. Twins was a hit. Total Recall was a hit. Like his films, like sadly the only time Stallone had a hit was either Rocky films or the first two Rambo films. Of all the films he did in the 80s, maybe Cobra a little bit. Tango and Cash, maybe, I'm not sure. Because I don't remember what the budget was and how much the studio took. I love this moment here. With the rain, of course people go, this is cheesy. But I love it, like the rain and just grabbing it as if he just got the soul, you know, of this lady. And it's like, some bitch must pay. Just reaches right to his weapon. Son of a bitch must pay. And the C4 arrow will be a bit later. Just gotta save him for, well, he won't be the last, but you gotta take care of these guys first. And a friend of mine had a good point when you compare this to, say, the hunting scene in Rambo 5, Last Blood. In this, he's much more secretive, because that's who he is. And he's blending them on the shadows, he's blending them on the plant life. You don't know where he's coming from. Where is he at? While in Rambo 5, he telegraphs every fucking place he's at. Every fucking area, every fucking attack he's going to do, he telegraphs it early. There's even a point where, and this is the guy who killed his niece, he has the dead shot and he doesn't take it because he wants to fuck around some more, and then he gets himself shot for it. It just, Rambo seemed like such a fucking dummy. Like earlier in Rambo 5, when he just walks into all these people's, no stealth, no pre-planning, and then gets his ass beaten because he's an idiot. I'm like, Rambo is not that, he's not an idiot. He's not a moron. You know, stuff like this. Again, he's planning, strategizing, he's using the environment. Because, you know, he's a guy who will eat things that make a billy goat puke. His job is to kill. Period. Rambo was the best. Again, you don't know where to come from. Here he is, almost like a horror film. He just comes out and that was the fun in this scene. Like, where the hell is he going to come from? And also how hard it must have been to keep this fucking rain going. Because whatever they use water towers and such to keep it raining, people getting wet. And then this shot here, like, there's the reveal. He's in the mud. Fuck you. So you get great stuff like that coming out of the mud. It's a lot of nice arrow action. But then you compare that to, say, Rambo Last Blood, and it's just, let me telegraph where I am. I'm here, I'm here. Put in some CGI. Fuck, there's more CGI at the end of that movie than fucking Avengers. To be fair, there's CGI in Rambo 4. But Rambo 4, I don't know, I thought did it better. I thought the 50 caliber master was just better, more insane. And to be fair, that didn't have a hunting scene. That's even one of the things I complained about Rambo 4. I wish there was a hunting scene. But then the part of me is like, either do it right or don't do it at all. But the hunting scene Rambo in First Blood was cool. And he just injured the cops. And Rambo 3 was cool. The caves. It's a blue light. What does it do? It turns blue. Yeah, I see him going through this village with all these people. Right? Like, you have those people looking like they're related to the Dalai Lama sitting there while, and all these people going by. There's kid here. I'm like, is this the village Rambo blows up? So did he kill all these people here? With it, when he gets the C4 tipped arrows? Like, did he? Like, you see all these people here living in their huts and, you know, bamboo. I forget what. I'm like, so does Rambo? Like, you see that village? There were all those people there. Maybe we're supposed to believe that they made everyone leave, but we don't see that. Like, we see people still sitting there and staying there, like that old man we saw previously. But then a little bit, he'll just, entire pieces of that village get blown up. I'm like, did Rambo just murder a bunch of innocent people? We'll get to that, but that's my question. But we got the going through, fuck, I was going to say cornfield. It's not a cornfield. It's just going through the field. So we got to mow this shit. See, this is when you don't mow. When you don't mow, which I hate mowing, but when you don't mow, you get this stuff. Up to your fucking head. But I gotta imagine if there was someone who actually didn't mow for that long and actually let the things grow this fucking tall. But yeah, they're just setting up a trap to burn these motherfuckers. Burn them alive. There you go, the C4 explosive arrows. I love this weapon. I love the way this is used. See, he blows up that village. I'm like, wait a minute, is that the same village those people were at? Like right there, like, wait, were there still people there? But then there's a quick shot where you see the village on the right, to be fair. It's a very brief shot, but you see like on the right, like over here. So I guess that answered my question, but... Now Rambo, there's nobody in those trucks. You're just blowing up empty trucks. You're not killing anybody. Right, they can't leave, to be truthful. But I love the C4 tipped explosive arrows. I love it. And I wish, as superficial as this sounds, I wish he would have brought him back for Rambo 5. If he had to do another one, at least do that. Give me something, Stallone. Give me something. But he burned all those motherfuckers and he blew up a lot of shit. And Jeeps. Fucked their day up. There's a guy who helped kill Cobra. Son of a bitch must pay. I mean, this is badass. Just like, I'm not going to even duck. I'm not going to leave. I don't take my time. I'm going to save this one especially for you and shove it right up your ass. I just love the shots of him with the arrow and the poses. That's like a comic book. Bullseye. Fucking blows up a person with a C4 arrow. You don't get that shit nowadays. And if they do it, it's cheesy, it's corny. It's funny. Wow. And then they say some stupid dialogue. Wow, that was really extreme, right? Or wow, that was over the top, right? Or man, that's like that one movie back in the day. Again, people don't know how the fuck to do it anymore, sad to say. Except maybe the John Wick films and some others. Love that. Bomb was so big, it went to all the other rocks. Part of me wonders if that's why I love the John Wick films, but maybe that's one of the reasons why the John Wick films became so popular is because people... Maybe I'm not alone in that. There are people like me who miss stuff like this. And Predator 2 maybe, Rambo 3, that miss this stuff. That miss this stuff and want to see this stuff again. They want to see this stuff again. And not in an ironic, winking way. And that's what I mean where the action goes. It just, we've had hunting, then C4 arrows, then blowing up a guy, big explosion, now we got this fight in a helicopter, brute strength against brute strength. I don't know if it's true, but one of the rumors I heard was that Dolph Lundgren was either up for this role of this guy or Ivan Drago in Rocky IV. And Ivan Drago was a better choice because he was the main villain, while this is just... I don't even know this actor's name, and I don't know if he's done anything else. But I love the bandana as well, which is from Cobra. I mean, that's the bandana. As superficial as a lot of the stuff is, like Rambo 5, he doesn't even have the hair. He doesn't even have the headband, the bandana. I mean, he doesn't even have the... I don't know, man. Threw his ass out. Now we see him as a helicopter pilot. And honestly, like the Rambo films, to me, have been part of pop culture, why not have an actual good Blu-ray set of these films? What do you mean by that? I mean to be fair, there are features, like these features here on this, to be fair. But these documentaries on the Rambo, especially the sequels, like Rambo 3, most of the documentary just talks about Afghanistan itself. But here we go, blowing all this stuff up. Great. I love the way they filmed it. Like, they have the shots of actually going over this village, and like that shot there where you see Stallone in this cockpit and you see fire on the ground. Like, how the hell did they do that? It looks like a real helicopter going over this village, and there's explosions, and nowadays this would all be CGI to hell, but it's like, this looks real. A real helicopter. The way it's edited, with the help of Mark Goldblatt, great editor. Again, the same guy who directed The Punisher with Dolph Lundgren helped edit this film. Again, the shots where you see Stallone here. Yeah, just the war cry. Like, fuck you. This is just the devil unleashed. This is why you don't fuck with Rambo. You don't fuck with Rambo, because he's just gonna destroy all you. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, and fuck you. I love that. I love that. Just fucking everybody's day up. Fucking fantastic. Like, fuck all ya. That's so... it is so satisfying. Blowing up with missiles, machine guns. It wiped out this entire fucking bad guy village. And then you got the M60. That's how, I love this, man. I get a kick out of this. I'm smiling. And then nice, like, turn. Bah, 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 bah. It's like music. Each of the notes have to coordinate with the previous one. So you have to da 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 da, and then the turn da 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 da. And that's one of the iconic action pictures of the 80s is Stallone with the headband and the M60 machine gun. Getting the POWs out of there. I mean, whoever actually directed, whether it be Stallone or George B. Cosmatos, did a good job. Well, that guy ain't having a good day. See, that's a squib. When Stallone shot that Russian, that's a squib. Couple squibs, actually. I miss, like, I watch it. So many people are gone now. I mean, from Richard Crenna, Charles Napier, George P. Cosmatos, Jerry Goldsmith. Fuck, man. And again, they're not going to make a movie like this anymore. They're not, because it's labeled, again, cheesy, corny, silly, all that other shit. Which is ridiculous to me. Absolutely ridiculous to me. But that's just my opinion. There's a goddamn chopper on our tail. Come on, do something. And I think, I'm trying to remember the Russian chopper. I think that's is a Hind D? Fuck, I'm not good with choppers. But it's definitely a different looking chopper compared to the one Stallone's flying. And look at it, you get an actual fucking helicopter firefight. Done for real. Like, those are two real fucking helicopters. It's either really, really good fucking models, But that's like, I mean, or actual fucking helicopters. And the way they have the shots, like they up close to the machine guns firing, you see the whole landscape of the land, and there's the scope of it. And this real mistake where this piece of the airplane actually fell off and landed somewhere. I guarantee that was a mistake, and they kept it in. Hey, it happened. No one got hurt, and keep with more of the reality of the sequence. Of course, he used all his ammo while fucking up the village. That's the thing, they don't do this stuff nowadays. Real explosions and real helicopters. Like, they don't do this. That's all I can say, because it's sad. These movies did not cost $100 million. Even in 1985 dollars, it wasn't $100 million. But yet you get movies that cost $200, $300 million, like fucking Justice League and all this other shit, and nowhere close to the action in this. I'm sorry. I know people don't disagree. I don't see the appeal of how a cutscene of a video game is better than the real stuff. I just don't. I really don't. Fooled ya. Look at that. Blows up a fucking airplane with a bazooka. He had a rocket launcher earlier, now he's got a bazooka there. And played cat and mouse. Mouse pretended to be dead and shot a rocket up the cat's ass. Like I said, the pacing, I mean, we're pretty much at the end of this movie. We're with the credits 9 minutes. That's with the credits. So, yeah, this movie was a breeze to sit through again. And people are like, well, you didn't talk enough about the actual movie. Because again, the movie itself, I do think speaks for itself. I think it's well shot. Sequences like this, where you see Stallone's character looking out the helicopter window, and the various scenes where it looks like they're actually in that environment there. The point of view of the machine guns as it's firing over across the landscape in that finale. Real helicopters, like firefights. You get practical squibs. You got hour and 30-some minute pacing. You got excellent story by Jerry Goldsmith that's exciting and exhilarating. I think Stallone does a good job. Man of few words, as Rambo, that's the type of character he is. Just his actions are more prevalent, not his words. But when he does talk, it's memorable. Because I can still remember, Murdoch, I'm coming to get you. Or even coming up, find them, or I'll find you. Well, I want what they want, and every other guy who spilt his guts and gave everything they had once for our country to love us as much as we love it. That's what I want. How you gonna live, John? Day by day. Which I use that to this day, day by day. Because for all any of us know, we'll be dead tomorrow. I could be dead tomorrow. I could be dead next week. So, I just try to live day by day. You know, Martin Crease, that's for telling them to sweep the leg. You just desserts. See, moments like this, it just brings a sort of epic quality to it. With the music, and just him unleashing all of his rage on this stuff that they view more important than human lives. And like, you worry about all this other shit when, guess what? I just took it out. What you gonna do now? All by myself. Like, your machines, computers don't mean shit. Because Rambo was pissed. You left me behind. I got tortured. Cobra got killed. Because you're sorry ass. I didn't mention that Coca-Cola machine bottle. I mean, bottle. The vending machine. Any Mellow Yellow in there? Mission accomplished. Could you imagine if the ending was he really did kill Murdoch? Da, 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 da. Find him or I'll find you. But hey, unleash his anger and be pissed off, and at least he did rescue some people. That one guy with the sunglasses, like, he ain't worth it. But that's the thing, like, the relationship between Trautman and Rambo was a bit cold in First Blood. Really, they were together at the very end of the film. And this one is a little bit warmer. And in the third film, it's even a lot more warmer than that, meaning more friendly. Imagine, like, the first film, Trautman's an acquaintance. The second film, he's an ally. And the third film, he's a friend. I'd die for it. And people make fun of this as well, but I enjoy it. I think it works for what it's supposed to do. And the words do mean something. Another thing with Stallone is that when he was born, he had the thing where the forceps screwed up a nerve, and that's why his lips are like this. Thus, he has a little bit of a speech unique way of it. But never minded it. They go day by day and waltz off to the distance. A sequel, like a lot of sequels in the 80s, where it was much bigger, whether it be, you had Phantasm 2, Hellraiser 2, I mean, a lot of sequels where, okay, we're going to make a second one, and it's going to be a bigger, even more of an action film. And of course, we get the song by Sylvester Stallone's brother, Frank Stallone. Funny enough, if you look on YouTube, there's actual an alternate music to this ending where it's a musical track. Jerry Goldsmith had written a musical track for the end credits, and I had never heard that music before, but it's on YouTube. Just type up like Rambo, Jerry Goldsmith, you'll find it eventually. I think I'll say like end credits or something, but yeah, instead of the song, it had that Jerry Goldsmith music, which was really cool to hear. Really cool to hear. So, yeah, I think this is a quintessential action film. I think it's a quintessential classic. Even now, I watched it after countless times, and I still get a kick out of it. I still love it. I love the action. It goes at a good pace. I love the character Rambo. I love the music by Jerry Goldsmith. The supporting cast, Stephen Berkoff, the Charles Napier, Richard Crenna. Peter McDonald, director, photographed Helicopter Unit. Of course, would go on to direct, ultimately, Rambo III. Yeah, I love this film tremendously. So I'm going to stick with the end credits just to any names that pop up. But yeah, I absolutely love this film. I have really no issues with it. It's one of my favorite films ever. It's one of the reasons why my username is Rambo Raf for life. Is how much I love this movie. It's my favorite of the Rambo films. Back in the day, these were our comic book movies. You know, these were our Iron Mans. These were our Captain Americas. And yeah, I loved it. Still love it to this day. Jimmy Lyle, Arkansas Knifesmith. Bow designed specifically for Rambo 2, Hoyt, Easton, USA. Filmed in Panavision. Probably not anymore they do that because it's all digital. Cliff Wanger Jr., special effects man and our friend. Rest in peace. And there we go. So, with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. And we will see you in another video. Later.